I graded 75 cards for my Pokemon collection, and today we find out the results. Welcome back to another video, ladies and gentlemen. Today we've got our very first PSA submission video. This big box that you saw at the beginning contains 50 cards. This one here has 20 cards, and then we've got 5 flipped over here that I just took out of the bag, and we're gonna be finding out the results. Now, disclaimer, this is not something with like first edition Charizards and crazy expensive cards that people use to clickbait you guys. This is cards that I simply just enjoy within my collection. Some of them are super awesome. Some of them you might question, but guess what? At the end of the day, it's my collection, it's what I like, and that's what matters. I want y'all to let me know in the comments, who is your favorite Pokemon to collect? What is your favorite type of Pokemon to collect? I want to hear all about it because it's all about enjoying the collecting process at the end of the day. Now I'm going to push this big boy to the back. We're going to open him later. We'll do this, and we will start with the smallest and work our way up. So my first card here, I don't even remember what I submitted because a lot of these were from a while ago. This is going to be the Pikachu and Zekrom Black Star promo. I was a big fan of this simply because Zekrom is one of my favorite legendaries and Pikachu is iconic, plus the art is simply just amazing. This ended up coming back a 10. That's a great start to the video considering I'm not expecting a 10 for a lot of these cards. Super neat. We'll put that to the side. This one's going to be Brock's Grit from Pokemon XY. So you guys see what I mean? Like, a lot of these things are gonna be super random. It's not even something that I want in my collection. It was gold, it was shiny, and Brock is an OG from Pokemon, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and grade it, and this one came back a 10. Now I believe Pokemon Evolutions is the furthest back that we go. I don't remember any packs I opened before that. There might be some that I just bought off eBay or off locally that you guys might see. But right after that, we've got the Shining Rayquaza. So this one I actually did buy from an eBay store for $5. And when the card delivered, I could see why it was $5, but honestly, for $5, it was kind of a steal. 2017 Sun and Moon. This one's gonna come back an 8. Which is honestly more than expected. When I look at the front and the back, there was definitely a little bit of whitening. This one is from a more recent set, Pokemon Sword and Shield Crown Zenith. This is the Entei illustration rare, super neat. My favorite out of the dogs. Actually, that's a lie. I think Raikou is probably my favorite one, but this is a very nice art. The card was in great condition, and it's gonna come back a 10 as well. So far, 3 out of the 4 cards have been a 10, which is a way better than I could have ever expected. Jumping into number 4, we've got the Lopunny and Jigglypuff tag team. I remember I was buying a bunch of these tag team tins just because they look super cool. Sometimes I wish I kept them sealed because they would have definitely held better value, but that's not what it's always about. And by the way, this is my first grading video, so if I'm not going at a good enough pace or you guys want me to change anything, all criticism is accepted in the comments because I simply only want to get better moving forward. But this one right here is going to come back a 10. Ooh, that's actually a really nice one. I was a big fan of the art. Lopunny and Jigglypuff are very popular Pokemon. I honestly thought this would come back a 9, because I thought the centering was off just a little bit, but I guess not. And last one out of these 5 right here is going to be another tag team card. This one is the Blastoise and Piplup GX. I believe you had to pull this one, but there's one that you got as a promo card. I could be wrong. I'm not that educated of a collector. I just collect cards that I think look cool, but this one is going to come back in 8. Wow, I don't know why I'm acting surprised. I didn't actually know what to expect. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, the centering is slightly off in the back, but I really thought it would come back a 9. Everything else looks super good here, so that's actually very surprising. Pretty good start overall though. Those 5 are looking great. Let's put them off to the side here, and let's bring in box number 2. In here should be 20 Pokemon cards. Let me figure out where the back is. Okay, so this way is going to be the back. Let's pull them out this way. And I always keep these boxes because they're a good place to actually store the graded cards. PSA actually has very good quality boxes, and that styrofoam inside definitely helps. But now we've got 20 cards to fly through. Again, not sure what to expect. You guys will definitely see some rare things as we go. First one is going to be a Gyarados EX from Breakpoints. Did not pull this. Bought this somewhere, I think it was for like $10, so I wasn't expecting anything crazy. It just looked good, and again, it wasn't so much about the grading so much as it was I wanted a shiny Gyarados in my collection. This one came back a 6. Oh, is that even possible? I thought the lowest you could possibly get for the average card was 7. I guess I really didn't take care of this card. You gotta keep in mind, some of these cards were just in my binder for a very long time. Next up, we've got another Gyarados 2016 Breakpoint. This one's gonna be a 9. Okay, so I knew one of them had to be nicer. Whoever wants this 6, let me know in the comments, because yeah, I've got the one I pretty much wanted. Duplicates aren't really doing much for me here. Jumping into the next one, we've got ourselves another Gyarados. This one is the secret rare from Breakpoint, coming with that Manaphy in the corner. Super cool. 2016, you guys can tell that 2016 was the one year I was really into Pokemon for a good while. Took a big break, and now we're back here in the big 2024. This one's going to be an 8. If you're gonna come back at 9, it would have definitely held better value. I like the gold border. I love the Greninja in the corner. It's just a beautiful card overall. Jumping into the next one. There we go. Some of my Evolutions boys. We've got the Mega Charizard from XY Evolutions. This one, super pretty. I remember I delayed myself from grading this years ago because I didn't think it'd come back at 10. Now I just want to make sure it's in a sealed case so it stays properly. I don't know. I have a hard time trusting binders when it comes to a card that I want to keep long term. This one's gonna come back a 10. There's no way this is a 10. I'm gonna be honest. It looks very good, but I'm pretty sure it was a 9 because of edges or something. I just know it wasn't a perfect 10 in my mind when I didn't submit it. So you guys can see, like, it is off center to the side here compared to this corner, and it's very visible. So I'm very surprised that actually came back at 10, but guess what? I am not complaining. I think we had 2 of these, so there should be another one coming up. Nope, this one is the Charizard VMAX from Darkness Ablaze. Now, I'm not a big Charizard fan or big Charizard collector. He was the OG. I did pick Charmander when I first picked up Pokemon Blue for the first time ever, and he was that guy for me, but I don't think I'm as big of a fan as some of you guys out there. Nonetheless, the VMAX is coming back a 10. I remember I got the Rainbow Rare version of this from Champion's Path, and I was so excited to grade it, and it came back an 8. I think I have it somewhere. I'll show it to you guys later, but definitely nice little redemption here with this one coming back at 10. We're definitely getting a lot more 10s than I thought we would, because again, I wasn't like analyzing a lot of these cards, making sure every single one was a 10. I just graded what I liked. And right here we've got ourselves another Mega Charizard. Again, sometimes I wish I just did not open all those Evolutions Elite Trainer boxes and booster boxes, because the value of those is insane. And now it looks like Evolving Skies is going to be the new Evolution. So pretty much pick a title that starts with EV, and apparently it should just hold value. Nonetheless, this one is going to come back a 9. This is just the regular Mega Charizard EX, not the full art. Still look pretty cool to me. And again, Charizards just, they hold that value, even though he's been getting spammed like crazy in content in Scarlet Violet Sword and Shield. Nonetheless, this one is going to come back a 10. Super cool. Happy with that. How much more evolutions do we have in here? Could be quite a bit more. All right, not a base set. Calm down. This is the holographic Charizard though from Evolutions, and this one I know for sure is not a 10. You can just look at the centering right here. That is nowhere near a 10, and honestly they were just bad with putting this card in the case. Like, it's not put in the case properly. I don't know. You look at the back here, centering is visibly off, but you can see here that it's very weirdly in the case there, or maybe it's just a bad shadow. Nonetheless, this is going to come back an 8 here, and no surprise. This was something that was purely graded to be in my collection and nothing more than that. I like it. And I do believe we do have a reverse foil one in here, and it might be the next one. Nope, that's going to be a regular Charizard V-Star from Crown Zenith. So we went through a bit of a Charizard phase because everyone was talking about the great value of Charizard cards. Decided to try to keep one of each one that I pulled out of packs just to collect, and this one is going to come back a 10. I don't really know the value of most of these cards with their grades. Maybe I'll put them on the screen. Unlikely though, because again, this is purely just for collector enjoyment. Probably will sell some and try to collect more at some point. But this right here is the reverse foil of that Evolutions Charizard. I feel like the holographic one looks so much nicer. The reverse foil is very respectable though, and this one is also going to come back an 8. I thought this one would come back a 9. Okay, I definitely lied. The centering is not there. I can tell as much in the front, But in the back, oh my goodness, it is very visible. We've got the Obsidian Flames Charmander. So like I said, a lot of variety going back to 2016 and a lot of modern stuff. So you guys can tell kind of when I was opening packs and when I wasn't. I thought this was super neat. Very nice promo card art. Had to keep it. This one's gonna come back a 10. I kind of wish I got the Pokemon Center one, but man, Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes sell out so quick. I opened a Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box for the first time in the last video for the new Temporal Forces. Go check it out if you haven't already. This is going to be the Miriam from the Pokemon Scarlet base set right here. I remember this card had insane value, and then it took a huge nosedive. Nonetheless, for a card art that pretty, it's staying in the collection. The waifu is coming back a 10. Whew. Happy with that one. I forget that these grading videos include a lot of talking. I gotta take some water breaks. Another Sword and Shield Crown Zenith. Zeraora is one of my favorite legendaries. I want to see him get more cards moving forward. I don't really remember him in any other sets besides Crown Zenith, yet at the same time, I didn't really open enough sets to really say that. I just want to see more of them. Now that illustration rares are a thing, I want to see my favorite Pokemon in peak illustration rare form. Nonetheless, this one is going to come back a 9. This is definitely not a card that I pulled. I bought this. This is a Pokemon XY Primal Kyogre Ancient Origins. I remember I wanted the Primal Groudon because he's my favorite legendary between the two, but I was like, hey, I couldn't pass up on the price that I paid for this, which I don't remember because it was years ago. I wasn't expecting a good grade though, so it's going to come back a 7. Yeah, I just wanted it because it was an older looking card. A primal version of Kyogre is not its regular form, so I thought it was super cool. Plus, I always love the cards that have these Japanese fonts running through them. You saw that with a lot of the Evolutions cards, and I thought that looked super neat. The gold, the blue accents each other very well. 7 is a bit tough though, but again, not necessarily looking to sell it, pretty much just for the collection. And right here is going to be, again, where the Japanese fonts running through there, Evolutions Mega Venusaur X. This one is going to come back a 10. Awesome. We've got the Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno Hidden Fates full art. All I remember about the Hidden Fates is everyone chasing that shiny Charizard, which I think at the time was going for like $1,000. I don't know what the case might be now, but I thought this was super neat. The OG legendary birds, now they've got different forms and all that. This one's going to come back a 9. We've got 3 left here. Okay, so we're gonna jump into Giratina V-Star, arguably my favorite legendary Pokemon of all time. Unfortunately, all his beautiful special illustration rare cards go for so much money. Like, I tried to pull it out of the Lost Origins booster box, it just wasn't happening. Instead, we got this guy, and it's gonna come back a 9. That's pretty cool, I guess. I mean, I just wanted a Giratina in my collection. I don't really have one. And then we've got the Samurott. I actually like this one, the Hisuian Samurott. I thought the art was super neat. Boy is staring down that snow runt like he is dessert. From 2023 Crown Zenith, that one is gonna come back at 10. And I believe this is when they started doing the silver borders, which by the way are so much better for these illustration rares than the yellow borders ever were. If you imagine this with the yellow border, it just doesn't have the same aura, let's be honest. But down to the final card of this 20 box, and it's going to be Pokemon Sun and Moon Unbroken Bonds Tag Team Sylveon and Gardevoir. I just thought the color palette on this was neat. Gardevoir is an awesome Pokemon. Who doesn't love any of the evolutions? This one is going to come back a 9. All right, so now it's time to unlock Big Chungus over here. We'll start with this side, man. 50, this is a lot to fly through. How do people do like 100 packs? We're gonna start with Iron Valiant EX. Obviously, this one is from Paradox Rift. The ultra rare, thought it was super cool. I love this Pokemon. I'm not as big of a fan as the future as I am the ancient Pokemon, but this one's super neat, and it's gonna come back a 10. Right there, this one is the Mela Special Illustration Rare, right there with his boy Torkoal. The Eruption Spammer of the Pokemon competitive world, 2003 Paradox Rift, coming back a 9. This card was going for so cheap on eBay, and it might still be cheap, but I got it for like, what, $5? So I picked up like 3 or 4 of them, which you guys will see in here. I think this is a very underrated art, man. Looking over the city like an absolute god. Is the rating godly? It's going to be a 9. Wow, this is another Mewtwo. Oh no, this is the Gengar. So there was a story behind this Gengar. Number one, Gengar is just an awesome Pokemon, but I'd heard when it came to the Japanese cards, this art ended up being banned, and as a result, this ended up being a banned Pokemon card. When I heard about that, I was like, who doesn't want to collect a banned Pokemon card? That almost adds the value. You got this. The art is just super fire. That one is going to come back at 10. Okay, so that's good news. That's good news. And now we're back to English, and this is a Cyclizar illustration rare, and I can't tell you why I graded this. It wasn't for collecting purposes, and it wasn't for trying to sell it purposes. I think it was just in there, and I wanted a good even number of 50, and we graded it. That's gonna come back at 10 though, so hey, we'll take that. This one is a Morpeko illustration rare. This was kind of for collecting. I like the fact that it was filled with a ton of color. I can't say I'm a big Morpeko fan. Nonetheless, this will come back a 10. Up next, we've got the Iron Hands illustration rare. I thought this one was super cool. I like this one a lot. Him flying through all those walls. And this one is going to come back a 10. Special illustration rare is coming back at 10. I'll take that any day of the week. Got the Porygon Z illustration rare from Paradox Rift. This one was super cool. He's in some kind of lab, office, something of that nature. Look neat, and it's going to come back a 9. A little Japanese card coming up next, and this is the other Mewtwo. So why were they separated? Nonetheless, it doesn't matter. This is another art rare. Again, looking over the city is awesome. This one and the Mew art are insane. This one is gonna come back at 10. I know people were disappointed with the Mew because it came stock with the special collection box, whatever it's called, but I'm glad we finally got a 10. That's why I always buy a couple. Even though the Japanese cards do grade higher, you can never be too safe. And this one was super sick. No, it's not from 151. I can't remember. Y'all let me know in the comments. It's gonna come back a 10 though. We'll take that for the good vibes. And I think this is gonna be a couple Ninetales in here. This was a 7? I don't think I've ever seen a graded 7 Pokemon Japanese card in my life. I think I'm gonna take this one out of the case. A 7 is, how do you look at this and decide it's a 7? Give me more of my Ninetales. See, now I'm sketchy. Oh, this one's the Squirtle. Pokemon 151. I collect anything that's OG because I think it just ages better. Plus the art combo for Squirtle, Wartortle, Blastoise, they all look so pretty beside each other. I think I have the Blastoise somewhere in here, but we need the Wartortle for sure. That one's gonna come back at 10 though. So that's going to be a big dub. Like I said, a lot of Japanese cards in here. Another Ninetales, that one's gonna come back at 10. That's what we wanna see, man. I don't know how that one came back a 7. It looked the exact same as all the other ones I submitted. Another Mewtwo, that one's gonna come back a 10. Keep it rocking. Another Mewtwo, 10. Okay, so most of our Mewtwo's hit as 10s, and only one of them hit as a 9. That's going to be a Lugia GX. Listen, I love Lugia cards, and I did a Silver Tempest pack opening, and I could not get the Lugia. So as a result, I was like, hey, I want to buy some kind of Lugia that I think looks cool and will age well over time. It's gonna come back at 10. Awesome. Super Burst Impact. I just love the way that art looks. So I was like, F it, we're picking it up. We got ourselves another Squirtle art rare here, and that one's going to be another 10. We're starting to hit a couple 10s here. Maybe there's more 10s than I thought in this set. Another Squirtle, that's gonna be a 10. Love to see that. Another Squirtle, that's gonna be another 10. Now keep in mind, I bought all those Squirtles as a set. I think they averaged out to about $4 each. So I think I actually kind of lucked out at the end, especially because they all came back as 10s. Another Lugia here, that's also going to be a 10. I believe this was from the 151 set, right? Yeah, it was from 151. Saw the GameStop tag, simply had to go ahead and grade it. It's gonna come back a 9. Got ourselves another banned Gengar art, man. That one's gonna come back at 10. And then we've got yet another Ninetales. So all the other Ninetales came back as 10s. This one was super cool. Pokemon Legends Arceus was a very good game. So to see that this card came with that tag there, simply had to get it, and that was for the pre-order. This one will come back a 9. Another banned Gengar, and they're all coming back as 10s from the Dark Phantasma set. All right, one more pillar to get through here, guys, and then we're done. I need y'all to stick with me here. We've got the Blastoise EX. Oh, I didn't see what it was. Y'all might have seen it before me. I didn't see, but I have a feeling it was not a 10. Special illustration rare. I know it's not a 10 because I had it sitting in my binder for a while. It is going to be a 9, and honestly, I am satisfied with that. One of the nicest special illustration rares I've ever seen. Just sitting in the depths of the water, waiting to violate somebody with a hydro cannon. All right, what else we got in here, man? Ooh, the Alakazam EX from 151. I thought this art was insane, especially because we didn't have the Abracadabra Alakazams for a good while, but this one's gonna come back a 9. Someone told me that if you submit these big time names, such as this Iron Valiant Special Illustration Rare, they don't come back as 10s because they think you should submit them with more expensive cards so that they're looked into more carefully. Nonetheless, I like this one a lot because it's got that guy in the background who I think is the picture of the promo of the new Temporal Forces. I wonder if you angle it, if it looks that way. Nonetheless, this does come back a 9. No surprise there. Iron Moth. Oh, so I got this one because it was also a GameStop promo for Paradox Rift. Comes back a 9, but I simply just wanted it for that GameStop tag. Next up, Yveltal Illustration Rare from Paradox Rift. I honestly thought this card would have insane value simply because of the art. I mean, look at him. He's simply just bringing darkness over the whole map. That one is going to be a 9 though. And then we've got the Iron Bundle promo. This one is super neat. Absolutely blew the Jigglypuff promo out of the water. Coming back at 10, awesome. We got a little Screamtail. This one's nice. I just think the bundle one ended up better. It's gonna come back at 10 though. Big dubs. Another Yveltal. It's gonna be a 9. Oh, we've been recording and talking for a minute. The Pokemon 151 Snorlax promo card. I mean, this is fire. He's lounging in the forest, Pidgey chilling on the top, and that's going to come back a 10. I think this one will age very well in terms of value over time. Its collectability is just nice, which is why I graded a couple of them. That one's also going to come back a 10. Is there another one? There is. I think there was 4 of them. And that's also going to come back a 10. For the boys, yes sir. And that's also going to come back a 10. So yeah. I'm not a big collector on the vintage stuff. I feel like a lot of it is very overpriced, and as a collector, I don't see the value in it yet. Maybe as my collecting journey goes, I'll be like, hey, this is something I want to keep long term. But for now, we're chilling with the modern cards, which have just amazing arts as it is. So that's kind of why I like it. But Venusaur EX here, that's going to come back a 9. I believe there is a Charizard EX chilling in here. This one is going to be the Iron Jugs. That shine on the card is actually really nice. But it's going to be a 9. There's the Charizard EX. I think this one's going to be a 10. I looked at it and I thought it looked really good, and indeed it does. There it is, Charizard Ultra Rare. A lot of these Pokemon 151 cards are going to hold good value over time. I guess it depends on how much they print it, but from what it looks like it will. This is the Lost Origin Charizard with, I forget his name, the champion of the Sword and Shield era. It'll come back to me at some point. Nonetheless, that's going to come back a 10. Vibing with this Charizard before he VMAXes it and punches the living life out of any trainer that's got dreams. Ready? We've got another Iron Bundle. That one's going to come back a 10. Zapdos EX. I forgot I pulled this one. Ooh, I think this one comes back an 8. I'll be happy if it's a 9. Let's see. It is a 9. Ooh, I knew it wasn't a 10. That's for sure. I believe the centering was slightly off in the back. Bro, Zapdos, Articuno, Moltres, it just looks amazing. Got a couple more to fly through here and we're gonna be done. Another Alakazam EX. Can I get one as a 9? Yes, we can. Wait, wasn't the last one a 9? Another Blastoise EX. We've got a chance at a 10, and it's going to be another 9. Oh, I'm not complaining because that pretty much just keeps the value of the card. Obviously, the 10 would have been insane though. And then we've got a Magby. This one I graded simply just a grade. Think of this guy as a Cyclizar, and he's just in here for the vibes. And he came back a 9. He couldn't even be a 10. A lot of the illustrations in the new sets makes me want to grade everything. And this right here, my pride and joy, one of my favorite card arts ever. The Roaring Moon, aka Ancient, Salamence. You got the Screamtail there, the Fluttermane. I forget the name of that, Brute Bonnet, and is that it? I don't see anything else, but I think this one was an 8. Maybe a 9. I feel like they're not gonna grade it well. It's gonna be an 8. Do I take this out of the case as an 8? We've got a Lucario V-Star. I'm a big fan of Lucario, more specifically this card art. I know it doesn't have insane value or anything like that, but the fact that this is a promo card for Crown Zenith is insane. Like, look at that art. I feel like it's a very underappreciated card, and it's going to come back a 10. Final card of this grading is going to be Professor Turo's Scenario, the special illustration rare, and that's going to come back a 9. I really thought this one would be a 10. So Definitely some cards we hit on that I wasn't expecting. Some cards that we did miss on that I was expecting, such as my baby here, the Roaring Moon. But that's gonna do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll probably do another submission after we do another big pack opening video. If you guys would be interested in seeing that, let me know in the comments. And until then, I'll catch you guys later. Take care.